Hello, welcome. In this video, we are going to learn about the Sqoop tool. Uh, that is, we are learning. In our previous tutorial, we learned about this import command that is part of our Sqoop tool, and we have seen just a basic example. A basic usage of this import tool, and let's now explore more uses of this import tool. Yeah, let us view the file system. Yes, here there is a directory called employee that has been created before when we try to import data from MySQL, and that directory has been placed on HDFS root directory. Now we are going to see about another flag that is part of import tool, that is target-dir, target directory, followed by name of the directory where I want to place the imported data. So at the time of or while importing data from database, I want to place the same data into a directory of my own choice on HDFS. So that is the usage of this command. So by default, if you don't use this hyphen target directory, the imported data will be placed, the imported data will be placed on HDFS root directory, and but I don't want to use that root directory. I want to place a directory of my own choice. For that, I am making use of this target directory option. And for this target directory flag, we need to specify the URL of the directory in two ways. First one is specifying the absolute path of the directory, and or else you can specify the relative path. First one is absolute path, second one is relative path of the directory. Here if you observe, this absolute path is considered as root directory user, followed by the user you have connected for the Linux operating system, because I have installed CDH4 on my virtual machine, and Cloudera is the default user, so that is the username I have specified here, and I wanted to place a directory of my own choice. So till this point it represents the absolute path. After that, directory of my own choice, that is MySQL data followed by employee table. If we import employee, so this whole thing will be considered as an absolute path, and make sure there is no directory with this name whatever you have given here. There is no directory with the same absolute path on your HDFS file system already, because as we know HDFS allows a type of data write once read many, because there should not be a directory with the same name already when you are trying to import a table. So that is the first thing you need to make sure, or else you can clearly specify the relative path, MySQL data followed by employee. So into this directory the imported data will be placed. So let us see this target directory option. Let us experiment that. Sqoop hyphen hyphen connect jdbc colon mysql colon localhost sqoop, and here we are making use of this hyphen capital P for the password of the user sqoop instead of hyphen hyphen password. So here we are also seeing that the table here, table is employee, or as we know there is one more table called student. Let us try to import that, and while importing, I would like to place this data in a directory of my own choice. So here I am making use of absolute path. Anyway, if you wish, you can give the relative path, the highlighted one here. If you wish, user Cloudera SQL data followed by the student directory. Here I am making use of. So this is the scoop command, and here I am entering, hitting the enter button. It will ask for the password. I think there is something wrong. Yes, scoop followed by, we haven't used this import command. See here it is asking for the password, and I have typed, and it is invisible. The password is invisible while typing. So if you observe, student.jar file has been created where the cursor is moving. If you observe here, the same old process that we have discussed before is going on internally. Min max here, select min max. Internally a job has been created and it is going on right now. Anyway, let us discuss about another option of import. Meanwhile, as we have seen, every record is executed internally as a separate map task, but I don't want to run 5 map tasks for 5 records. In this case, how can I control the number of map tasks to be executed internally by the scoop tool? Here there is an argument called general argument for this scoop tool, sorry, import, that is called -m. Here m means map. So the number of map tasks to be run or to be executed by the framework scoop internally, an integer. Here you can specify. So this is the command. Here -m means the m represents map task, and you can specify the number of map tasks to be executed internally by the scoop tool. So here, for example, -m1, if I specify -m1, all 5 records will be written to a single file in your employee directory. So anyway, yes, 6 records were retrieved here, and let's view them. The directory we have given is MySQL data followed by student. So let's view that. Same kind of files were created for student also. Yes, underscore success logs. See here, in this case, only 4 map tasks were executed. Yes, yes. Anyway, I will explain that. Part -m0. Sorry, ls I have used instead of cat. 2 records. In this also you can expect 2 records. Oops, it's differ. 6 records. First two records were placed inside this first map task. So the first map task has fetched two records, and the next two map tasks fetched single records, and the final map task fetched two records. So internally, see here, four files were created on this on the HDFS inside this MySQL data student. Four files were created, and in these four files 6 records were placed. If you let me clear the screen, and if you view the command sqoop we have executed here, this is the sqoop command, and what happened and how this command internally executed is when you hit the enter key after specifying uh, import after this command. When you hit the enter key, what was happen internally is by default this sqoop tool will try to run 4 map tasks for the maximum number of 1000 records. For the maximum number of 1000 records, let us assume there are 1000 records in our student table. In order to fetch these 1000 tables, by default or internally, sqoop import command will try to run 4 map tasks to fetch these 1000 records. The same rule is applicable here as well. So when you don't specify the number of map tasks to be executed internally to fetch the data by this import tool, that will be, I mean, the sqoop tool will assume or will take 4 map tasks were as the default tasks. So by default 4 map tasks were taken into account. So that's the number of map tasks to be executed by the import tool by default. So those many number of, I mean, the four map tasks will be executed internally if you don't specify the number of map tasks to be executed or to be run. So that's the how these 6 records were fetched into HDFS. Here where we are, yes, here, that's the thing here we are discussing. We would like to control the number of map tasks to be run by the sqoop tool while importing data. So here I am making use of this hyphen m. M represents a map task. Here represents m means a map, followed by the number of map tasks to be executed. So let us see that once again. Before running that command, let me remove the directory, or else what we can do is we can specify in a different directory instead of removing that. So command is the same. Till now the command is the same. Here I am making use of 2 to differentiate the directory name, because MySQL student is already exist, and we will get error message saying directory already exists if we run the same command. Here I am trying to control the map tasks to be executed internally. So hyphen m means a map. So here I am using 1 because I don't want to run 4 map tasks internally. I want to run only one map task to fetch the all the records available in our student table. So yeah, here I am hitting the enter key. I think something has gone wrong. Let me troubleshoot for that. Maybe I will retype that. See here it is asking for the password. I am entering the password and hitting the enter key. See, retrieved 6 records. Hadoop fs -ls mysql data / student2 we have given. If you observe, there is only one file and all the records were written to that file. See here, part M means only a map task has been executed to fetch the data. There is no reduced task. If you observe the logging information that has been displayed in the console, there is no map task. Once map task has been finished to 100%, that's it, because we are not performing any aggregation operation. That is why there is no need to make use of reduce operation as part of a job. Anyway, that's all up to map reduce concept, and here I am ignoring that. Cat. See here, 6 records were written to part M file, all the records of student table. So see here the highlighted one, that's a file and all the records were written to that using a single map task. That's how we have controlled the number of map tasks to be executed. That's that's the thing we have seen. So this is the main primary and purpose of this scoop import command, and this import command is meant for importing only an individual table from database to HDFS. At a time you can import only one table, so an individual table. And here we have few more options for this import command. One such option is where clause, as this already obviously we can guess what is the purpose of this. uh, its purpose is, instead of importing all the records of a table, for example, let us assume there are 1000 records in a table we are trying to import, and I don't want to import all these tables. I want to import only a set of records that will meet my criteria I have specified, or I will specify in this where class. So you can achieve that with the help of this where clause. So here you can do that hyphen hyphen where followed by the filtering clause here. So here you can specify. How can I specify? How can we specify that? Let us view the records mysql hyphen u root scoop database hyphen e to start from student. I'm trying to find out. I would like to get only 3 records whose employee, sorry, whose student ID is 234, for simplicity purpose, because no more, there is no big, there are no more, there are no columns, more number of columns. That's why I'm ignoring that. Here I'm making use of that column name. What is that? stu underscore id. So here you need to make use of the column name on which you want to apply that where or filtering criteria. So where student id between 2 and 4. So this is how I can specify where student underscore id in between 2 and 4. Sorry, there is no in, just it's between. Yes, so here also the same criteria is applicable. Delete that in. So here I am just copying this and applying this to the previous scoop command we have executed here. Here I am creating a directory because the scoop student 2 and student are already exist. Here student underscore where, here I am making use of that. And after that what I am trying to use here is, sorry, where clause here I am using and specifying, because student underscore id is the column, so the same column name here I am mentioning between 2 and 4. So your query should see here, if you observe, sorry, I have enclosed the filtering criteria in double quotes, so you please make sure your filtering criteria is in double quotes. Here I am and hitting the enter key, asking for the password, enter that. Retrieved 3 records because there are 3 records, 2, 3 and 4. These 3 are the student numbers. Let us view the contents of the directory we have created. MySQL data slash student underscore where, this is the directory. See here, part hyphen m hyphen 450. Yes, these 3 are the records we have got, and these 3 are the records that were matched to the criteria we have specified in the where class. So this is the main purpose of import tool, and these are all different options or flags of import command. This is the main purpose of this import. Thank you for watching.